do well academically. That's your job. That is your job. You have no other responsibility on this planet besides getting schoolwork done. If you never picked up another basketball, another football, never laced up some track cleats, if you never tweeted, texted, Tumblred, Facebooked, Vined, Instagram to get in your life, if you don't handle stuff in the classroom, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing, in 20 years from now, that stuff that you put on Twitter won't matter. What you retweeted, what the trend is, doesn't matter. But if you don't take care of your schoolwork, listen, I am 23 years old wishing that I would handle business in high school. Not because it caught up with me, not because it's keeping me from opportunity, but because I know deep down inside myself, there is more that I should know. There is more that I could use in my life had I just taken care of that stuff then. That is your responsibility. That is your job. And it is not something that you should take for granted. There are people in this world who would kill to be in our education system. And the reality is, the reason why, one of the big reasons, besides the fact that some folks would kill to be in our education system, but when we look at it in the context of the world, it's not very good. But the reason why, one of the reasons I think why it's not very good is because people your age have decided that Twitter is more important than trigonometry. They've decided that Vine is more important than being in their vocal lessons in choir. They've decided that what's going on socially is more important. And let me tell you, what's going on socially will pass. You know how many friends from high school I still hang out with? 0. How many friends from high school do you still hang out with? None. Yeah, I'm asking you. And how many people, when you graduated, what, 200 people? 7. You're what, 2 years removed now? And I'm 5 years removed. In those 5 years, somehow I've gotten from, now I will talk to some people every now and again, but what happened then, like my 5-year high school reunion, because that's how suburban schools do things, they decide to have 5-year reunions, because we just can't be away from each other for too long. 5-year reunion happened this year. So you know what's interesting? Is I was talking to one of my friends from high school, she was like, are you going to go to the reunion? And I was like, I don't know. And you know what she said to me? No, I'm not going. I said, well, why not? She said, because I don't need to relive high school. I'm grown now. I thought that was deep. That stuff don't matter. Academically, what happens is the most important thing besides God and your family and your life right now. Nothing else matters. That stuff is going to carry you. See, we are the generation that doesn't think that stuff is permanent. Y'all realize that we're the first generation in history, to think that tattoos and piercings are not a sign of slavery? Y'all realize that? We're the first generation in history. Every other generation in history has looked at a tattoo or a piercing as a sign of bondage and slavery, or as a sign of animals. What do you do with cows that you own? You brand them. You ever seen pictures of bulls and they got the ring through their nose? We're the first generation of people in history to think that this stuff really ain't permanent. When in reality, this is the thing that carries you through your life. Right now is important. Right now is the moment. Today is the day. And I don't care that school ain't started yet. You should be ready. How many of y'all legitimately read books? Not magazines, not a sports page, but a book. How many of y'all read books this summer? Raise your hand. How many of you all did anything mathematic this summer? Raise your hand. How many of y'all did anything scientific this summer? Raise your hand.
There we go.
How many of y'all did anything in regards to history or social studies this summer? Raise your hand. You know what the summer should be for you? The summer should be like when I played football. No, I'm not even saying summer school. When I played football, we had this thing called the off season. You know what we did in the off season? Lift and run. And my coaches will say this all the time, and anybody here who's ever played football, you've probably heard this, or you don't have a good coach. Games are not won on Friday nights. Games are won on Monday at 6:30 in January when we're in here lifting. That's when we win state championships. That's when we win national championships. I heard Pete Carroll say this. He said, it's easy to get up when there are 92,000 people in the Coliseum, but I want to see you in the middle of January at 5 o'clock in the morning at our workout lifting like there are 92,000 people in the weight room. And I want to see you all waking up and giving it everything you got. Like, you know how you work really hard at mid-quarter and you work really hard at the end of the quarter? Anybody else besides me ever done that? You work real hard at mid-quarter because you know that mid-quarter progress reports is coming out and you know your tail gonna get whooped or your cell phone gonna get taken away if you got...
I try to go to the mailbox and find it first.
See, it got bad. Teachers got smart. They stopped the whole progress reports thing and put y'all stuff online. Now they can't afford it. But you know how you work real hard at mid-quarter and you work real hard at the end of the quarter? Why not work like that from day one? From the day the school starts. The Bible tells us to study to show yourself approved unto God. Listen, when you study hard, it is pleasing to God. God does not want you to study anything less than with everything that you have. Because if you don't study hard, then your studying is not pleasing to God. Some of you are like, well, I got my life with God straight, and so I'm going to focus on that. Please focus on that, but also understand that you have a job to do. And that job, listen, that job is from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon for some of y'all. Like when I was in school, it's from 7:30 to 1:45, 9 to 3, whatever it is. From 9 to 3, you give that school everything you've got.